let's go to the 5 statements proving he wasn't a Christian conservative. So not only is there no evidence that he was a Christian conservative, there's ample evidence he was the exact opposite. So I'm pulling now from a story that ran on the Western Journal entitled Buffalo Suspects Manifesto Revealed 5 Statements Proving He Wasn't a Christian Conservative. I'm just going to pick up an article. Indeed, the teen rebuked conservatism and Christianity at least 5 times in his lengthy statement of personal beliefs. On page 7, the shooter expressly stated he's not a Christian. Quote, "Are you a Christian? No. I don't ask God for salvation by faith, nor do I confess my sins to him. I personally believe there is no afterlife. I do, however, believe in and practice many Christian values." Well, that last line isn't particularly helpful since most human beings actually practice a number of Christian values.
Yeah.
Most human beings, I mean, we're all sinners and fallen short of the glory of God. Most of us aren't murderers. Most of us follow that value.
Most people are not going around breaking that commandment, at least. Yeah. They're not murdering people.
Most people are not murderers. Most people are not rapists. Most people are not adulterers. So these are not, so they're not, that he follows those values in no way implies that he's a Christian, especially since he rejects the prime tenet of Christianity, which is Christ's substitutionary death, and our need for salvation. I mean, doesn't sound like he's a Christian to me.
No, I mean, I think that maybe he's trying to say that he's a decent person, which is fine, but that doesn't make you a Christian.
Which is a great irony, given what all the other horrible, horrific things he said. Right. But really, guys, I'm not that bad a fella. Elsewhere on page 7, he wrote, "Are you a fascist?" Yes. Fascism was one of the only political ideologies that will unite whites against the replacers. Since that is what I seek, calling me a fascist would be accurate. But, Grant, like we were talking about a second ago, I don't think of fascists and conservatives in the same universe.
No, the left would like to say that they're the same thing, but it's just an inaccurate characterization of what conservatives believe. So,
when you think of fascism, what do you think of?
I think of, totalitarianism, authoritarianism, someone who wants to rule over others, and I don't see that on the right.
Forced compliance by the state. Mm-hmm. And conservatives want the exact opposite.
Right.
They want actually the people forcing compliance on the state. The state is to answer to the people, not the other way around. All right, so not a Christian, is a fascist, not looking good for the media's narrative so far. And number 3, on page 8, he slammed conservatism. Are you a conservative? No. Conservatism is corporatism in disguise. I want no part of it. He also later goes on to say, on page 158, in capital letters, he wrote, "Conservatism is dead, thank God." The line before that is, "Thank God conservatism is dead." So not a conservative. So those who are arguing that he's a Republican, that doesn't mean conservative, but it implies it, that he's a conservative, that there was some sort of Christian influence, that Fox News is influencing him, that Tucker's influencing him. Not true. On page 9, let's go to number 4. On page 9, he explained how his affinity for communism influenced his ideology. When I was 12, I was deep into communist ideology. Talk to anyone from my neighborhood and ask about me, and you will hear that. I love the idea that in this neighborhood, everyone knew that the 12-year-old down the street was a communist. I just absolutely love that.
They're like, oh, that commie down there, he's something.
But again, Grant, how is that possibly compatible with the idea the media and the Twitterverse and the left is pushing that this guy's a conservative?
Yeah, I mean, that's just the direct opposite of conservatism. There's no way that you can possibly say that that's a conservative idea.
100%, the same way fascism is. Last one, number 5. From age 15 to 18, I consistently moved farther to the right, so he says. And what he means in that context, by the way, is toward fascism. He said he was a fascist. You could read it say, from age 15 to 18, however, I consistently moved farther toward fascism. On the political compass, I fall in the mild, moderate authoritarian left category. And I would prefer to be called a populist. Again, conservatives are many things, but they're not authoritarians, whether mild or moderate. And they're not populists.
I want to know where he was before, if moving to the right means that he was a mild, moderate, authoritarian left. I mean, he had to be really left before that. That's pretty far left.
So I really think what he's saying, I think that idea of a really large spectrum, get my arms right, is you've got conservatives over here, you've got fascists here, and you've got totalitarians here.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what he's talking about.
Yeah.
He's talking about this tiny movement right here, while conservatives and Christians are over here.